How do you feel there's finally progress on the fight and have the chance to face a fully fit George Groves?
Good. It's what I've wanted. I know I've said on numerous occasions I'd rather wait a month and fight him than fight a stand-in on the 2nd of June. I came in this tournament to become a world champion, and by doing that I'd have to beat George Groves, and if he leaves and takes his world title with it, then it doesn't make the tournament pointless, because I feel it's got me back boxing active and at a good level. But that was the main reason to become a world champion, and to face someone like George Groves, who after his last fight been made #1 in the division, so beating him should make me the best middleweight in the world, which is the plan.
Well, at the start of the tournament, Groves was ranked #1, seeded, and you was ranked #2. Did you expect to face Groves from the start of the tournament?
Yeah, I did, to be honest with you, and I picked him from the other side of the draw, and don't get me wrong, in the build-up to the Eubank fight I did have questions over the stamina and stuff, but my prediction beforehand was a Groves win, so yeah I did. I wouldn't have been surprised if Eubank or anyone else was in the other side, but I did believe Groves would come out the other side, and it was Groves that I wanted. He come in as the world champion, and I'd like to beat him for it. So, and he was the #1 seed, and in the super middleweight and in the cruiserweight final, it's 1v2 seed, which I think is what everyone wanted.
I saw an interview with Shane McGuigan yesterday, and he said, I quote, "Callum Smith team want the fight on June the 2nd and are trying to force us to fight unprepared." What do you make of that comment?
I don't know where he's got it from, to be honest with you. I've done numerous interviews, and I've said I'd rather wait a month and fight him, a fully fit George Groves, and I know he won't fight June 2nd, so I wouldn't push for it to be June 2nd, and if I did push for June 2nd, then I'll probably end up with a replacement, which I don't want. And I boxed one in the semi-final, and I wasn't too happy with that either. I want to fight BREIMER, and I want to fight George Groves, and fighting George Groves means it gets moved to the end of June, early July, then that suits me. Both fights were, if it was the 2nd of June, were going to be quite close together, so the month will probably do me a little bit better as well. So I don't know where. I've seen a few tweets tagging me, and I haven't seen the interview, but I've always said I'm happy for the month extension, and hopefully that's what happens.
Well, let's go back to your last fight against Nicky Holzken in Germany. It was quite a hectic situation, as you had 5 days to prepare for Holzken and spent the majority of your training camp preparing for an orthodox fighter in BREIMER. How did you assess your performance, and is there anything in particular that you would have done differently?
I thought my performance was okay. I thought I didn't do much wrong. I boxed well, probably a measured performance. I didn't take too many chances, and if I was to box him again in different circumstances, then I'd probably look to go for him more, let a few more shots go and try and get him out of there. But I just think with the whole week, it was just a little bit hectic. Obviously BREIMER pulling out, and then questioned over the opponent, and then getting stuck with him and not knowing much about him. And in my opinion, in my mind, it was just, I'm fighting George Groves in June. I just can't afford to slip up. So I maybe was a bit too. I won nearly every round, and in any other circumstance, if you won every round up until 7, 8, then you maybe look to get them out of there. But I thought I just want to win, and by any means possible. And overall, I don't think I've done too much wrong. I think I boxed well, I landed some nice shots, but beforehand I didn't think I'd go to points with a 13-0 Nicky Holzken. That was my only disappointment, but looking back on it, it was always about securing the George Groves fight and the place in the final.
Do you feel that you underestimated Holzken?
A little bit, yeah. I think when BREIMER was a tough fight for me. He was a good fighter, experienced, southpaw, and based my whole camp on him. And then Holzken gets put in, and he's 13-0. Yeah, he had a massive background in other combat sports, but in boxing he's 13-0, and I should be expected to beat him. And I think if anything, it put a bit more pressure on me, as in I was getting messages asking for tickets for the final before I'd even beat Holzken, and I think everyone just assumed I was going to go in and wipe him out, so it probably added a little bit more pressure on me. But again, if I was in that situation again, it'd still be, if I knocked him out in 1 round, I wouldn't have got any credit, and I beat him on points and I didn't get any credit. And for me, it was just about we can be placed in the final, and that's exactly what I've done. And we can move on and fight George Groves, which is a huge fight for me. It's a fight I've wanted for a long time, and providing all the date and the injury gets sorted, then we should have a good fight.
Well, the week before your fight, we saw George Groves' emphatic win over Chris Eubank Jr. What was your thoughts on Groves' performance?
I thought he boxed well. I thought out the two of them, stuck to his game plan, he stuck to his tactics, he listened to his coach, Shane McGuigan, and I thought he boxed well. I thought he had a few rocky moments late on, which I think everyone expected, and you know, he come through them well. Even with the shoulder injury, he still, you know, bit down on his gum shield and, you know, dug in. Although he lost the last round big, he was still there, he was still fighting, and he was still, you know, he stuck it out. And I thought overall it was a good performance from him. It was a good win, and like I say, he showed why he's world champion, and you know, he is a good fighter, and I've got a lot of respect for him. I just feel, and I've always felt stylistically, you know, be at my best and George Groves at his best. I feel, you know, I'm good enough to beat him, and you know, I will have to be at my best in the final, and you know, I do believe I will be. It's the fight I've wanted. It's a world title fight, so it's really get much bigger, and you know, I do believe that will bring out the best in me.
Well, I think a lot of people emphasised on Eubank's loss instead of Groves' performance. But having watched the fight, did you see any chinks in Groves' armour that you felt as a fighter that you could exploit him on?
Yeah, obviously I think the same chinks are the ones that we've always known. You know, when he does get caught, he does panic a little bit, he is a bit vulnerable. His stamina issues aren't really the best, but he has a lot of strong points. He's got a good jab, you know, he's heavy-handed, he's experienced, and he's got, as he showed in the Eubank fight, he's got a good boxing brain. I think he had the better boxing brain. I think that's where what Eubank lacked in, just natural boxing ability, which maybe due to his lack of amateur experience or whatnot, I don't know, but you know, if you stand in front of him, he's got a good engine, he's got a good punch out button, you know, he looks very good, but if someone uses the brain and boxes and moves, i.e. George Groves and Billy Joe Saunders, then you know, he's lost both them fights. So I just think Groves showed, you know, he's clever, he's smart, and he's where he is for a reason, and you know, that deserves a lot of respect.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Groves is your toughest test yet. But what do you see differently in Groves compared to the 24 opponents that you have faced?
He's a world champion. He's been here and done it. He's lost for world titles in massive fights with, you know, Froch and Badujak, and you know, he's come back and he's won his world title. As he, you know, I think, you know, winning the world title, he beat a small super middleweight in Uddin, and in my opinion, he's defended it against two small super middleweights in Cox and Eubank, and I think, you know, the size factor's a lot different with me, and I just think stylistically I'm a lot different to Jamie Cox, I'm a lot different to Chris Eubank, so you know, it's a different fight for him, but again, he's different to everyone I've boxed previously, so it's good. You know, Joe will have to come up with a good game plan, and Shane will come up with theirs, and a bit like what I said before his Eubank fight, I think whoever sticks to the game plan and gets the tactic right, and most importantly whoever performs the way, you know, they know they can, then you know, I think I'll come out on top. But you know, I'm very confident. I've always said I like my chances in this fight, and you know, I'm happy I've started camp and I'm in a good place, and I'm excited more than anything.
Well, your brother Paul Smith has suffered a defeat to Groves. Yeah. Is there an added incentive if you was to get the victory over Groves?
It's not. Yeah, obviously, you know, I beat brother Paul, and it'd be nice to beat him, but I don't really think about that. I think it was 7 years ago, and me and Paul are very different stylistically, and I think Groves a lot different now to when he boxed George Groves. You know, there's a lot more miles on his clock, but he's a lot more experienced and, you know, clever now. So I think it's a completely different fight, and I don't think he'll look into the Paul fight. As I say, we're both very different, me and Paul, and for me it's more just I beat George Groves regardless of whether getting revenge for my brother, and I'm a world champion, and that's been the goal since, you know, I was a little kid, and especially since I turned pro. I said I want to become a world champion, and you know, in my next fight, and I've achieved it.
Well, the past couple of fights, you've said they've been okay performances, but do you feel there's more to come from yourself, and there's different levels and gears that more to come for people? Yeah,
100%. You know, I haven't really performed the way I know I can in this tournament, and you know, I hold my hand and admit that. I believe I've had two, you know, decent wins, and you know, I haven't really come close to losing. I thought they'd both been relatively comfortable, but from my behalf, I'm my own worst critic, and he wasn't the best of performances, and you know, I think Groves is favoured for my fight, and rightly so. He's, you know, he's coming off probably his career best win, especially, you know, in recent years anyway, and I haven't really, you know, set the world alight, but I know how good I am, and I know how good I can be, and if I can't, you know, get motivated and perform in a world title fight, then I'm probably in the wrong sport. So you know, I have no worries that, you know, you'll see a big performance from myself and on the bigger stage, and I feel that's always been the case throughout my career. Every time I've been up against it, and I've always put in my career best performance at that time, so you know, I'm confident I'll do the same.
Well, you are still very young in boxing, but how does it feel to potentially secure your financial future, and of course become a world champion?
Yeah, it's obviously the financial side. It's never been something that motivates me, but it is nice. And at the end of the day, boxing is my job, and everyone wants to get paid for going to work and doing the job. So that side of the tournament was always a bonus. And let's say it is a good feeling. 27 years of age, and in this tournament, say I'm financially secure for a long time. The world title side of it, money can't buy that. To be called world champion and the best swimmer in the world, that's something a 10-year-old me dreamed of being, and a 10-year-old version of me didn't dream of being rich and wealthy when I was older. So they're both put plus sides of it, but winning a world title is the main goal, and the money that comes with it is a bonus. And the tournament's been great for that, and I've got one more fight and I've ticked both boxes.
Well, a couple of weeks ago we saw your fellow Brit James DeGale win back his IBF title against Callum Smith. What was your thoughts on this performance?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. No, I was up in Glasgow. My missus from there, and I was at a family thing that weekend, so I haven't watched it. I've got it recorded. I keep meaning to watch it. I think for myself, Groves, the Brit in our division, it's probably a good thing. DeGale's got his belt back. It just sets up a big fight with possibly the winner of this tournament. And I like James. I know him outside the ring, and I do feel it was a massive shock. I'm losing to Truax, and I do think it was. It was definitely a below par performance, but I do think he underestimated him. I think he thought it was a fight for him to look good and wait for the winner of the tournament, and he slipped up, and he was lucky he got given a chance to get a title back, and he's gone and done it. So it's put him right back in the mix, and should be good. It's good for the super middleweight division, and it's good for British boxing.
I understand that you don't want to pass Groves, but could a potential unification bout with James DeGale be on your radar?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, the main goal is to become a world champion. If I win my next fight, I achieve that, and then you set goals, and then when you achieve it, you set more. And if I become a world champion, then I'd want to become a unified champion, and beating James DeGale would do that. So yeah, a world champion's the first goal, but then if I win him, I'd rather look to fight the other champions than have a load of easy defences back in Liverpool.
Do you feel that with everything that's happened with Duell not securing the WBC shot, it's almost fate for you to win the Muhammad Ali Trophy and claiming the WBA super title against George Groves? Yeah,
possibly. I think I was mandatory for the WBC over 2 years ago now, and everything happens for a reason, and it was a frustrating year. I sat up the ring for 10 months after being so active all throughout my career, and it was frustrating, and at times I did think, why me? Why is this happening? But I stuck with it, I kept training, and the tournament come along, and the tournament's been the best thing that's happened to me in my career. And to win it outright, it'd make everything worthwhile, and it'd make the 10 months of waiting around for Anthony Dirrell all worth it as well. So yeah, there's pros and cons, but winning a world title, regardless of what route I've took to get it, will make the whole outcome worth it.
Well, yourself and your older brother Callum Smith could potentially become world champions in the space of 3 months. What's the general feeling like between each other as you're both thriving in boxing?
Yeah, it's good. It's always been that way since we were little kids. We've always been a close-knit family. We kind of understand what each other's going through, and I think part of our own success has been because we're so close and we're all doing the same thing, and we always want to improve each other. And I learn a lot off Paul, Stephen and Liam, just watching them in the gym every day, and I've just watched Liam spar then, and we had a very good sparring session, and I do learn a lot off him, and he'd probably say the same off me, and we're both in camp, we're both training for world title fights, and there's a good buzz in the gym and in the family itself. So it's good, and to have one world champion in the family is brilliant, and for me to win one, that would make two, but for the two of us to get them at the same time would be something special, and it's definitely something we're looking forward to doing, fingers crossed.
Well, Liam faces a tough task against Saddam Ali for the WBO light middleweight title on May 12th in America. What's your thoughts on the fight?
It's a good fight. Ali's a very good fighter, although I feel Cotto was a little bit faded. He was still a good fighter, and he got on there, and he's done a good job on him, and watching a lot more of him since the fight's been made. He's good, he's talented, and he's a typical American. He's skillful, and he looks good at what he does, and it's a tough fight for Liam, but you expect them for world titles. You don't expect easy fights, and I know how good Liam is, and I say watching him spar then, he's in a very good place mentally and physically, and he knows what he's got to do, and we're very confident he can go over there and do a good job and beat Ali and bring the belt home, and he's in a very good division, and winning that belt sets massive fights up for himself. So no, he's very motivated and he's in a good place.